How's it going, everybody? It's Keenest Fox here. This is my channel where I talk about anime, video games, and cartoons, most notably Sonic and Ninja Turtles. And today, I'm going to be doing a video about Sonic, as you can tell. And this is going to be my list of like best Sonic boys and stuff. As you remember, I did one not too long ago about the best Sonic girls, and I decided to just do this to get it out of the way because I've had it on my mind ever since. And you know, fair is fair, right? So yeah, so let's talk about some of the best Sonic boys. I kind of made this list. Has about 45 or so characters on here. I'll talk about the honorable mentions, and then I'll go down the list, and then I'll talk about the top 10. So yeah, so let's get into it. All right, so coming at number 45, I have Elias Acorn. That's best known as Ricky, and stuff, or I like to think that this is Ricky from the Sonic games and stuff. So in case you didn't know, um, about the animal characters and stuff from the Sonic games. There are certain names for the animals and stuff. So Ricky is the squirrel character and stuff, and I believe Sally is actually based off of that squirrel character from the games and stuff. But pretty much I like to consider Ricky to be Elias. So it all works. But anyways, Elias is Sally's older brother and stuff in the Archie comics. He's also ruled the Acorn Kingdom and stuff before, so that Sally won't kind of have to. Pretty much, him and Sally were kind of raised apart in secrecy or something. So Sally kind of didn't really meet her brother until she was like a teenager and stuff. The secret the secret sibling kind of plot thing. But yeah, but Elias though as a character, I think he's all right. I got no gripes against him or anything. So yeah. Coming at number 44, I have Storm the Albatross. Storm the Albatross, I actually think he's a pretty decent character. I got nothing against him. Yeah, he is a bit of a meathead and stuff. He's not exactly like the smartest character, a part of the Babylon Rogues, but obviously he's the powerhouse and stuff. He's the strongest one, a part of the team, the enforcer and stuff. The dude works for Jet. Yeah, and he's a good rival with Knuckles and stuff. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Sonic Rider series like that, so I kind of have Storm kind of all the way back here. So, yeah, sorry about that in case you were a huge fan of him. Anyways, coming in number 43, I got Short Fuse. Short Fuse is basically kind of like a squirrel version of Iron Man inside the Sonic Fleetway comics and stuff. And also, he's a lot similar to Bunny Rabbit as well, from, obviously from the Archie comics and Sadie M. But yeah, where Short Fuse, he was just this like squirrel character and stuff, and I believe he got like roboticized or something by Dr. Eggman, and I guess he's like stuck inside this suit and stuff. I can't exactly remember all the lore like that inside the Fleetway comics, since it's been a while since I read it. But yeah, that's kind of Short Fuse's whole situation and stuff. But he tends to help out Sonic and Knuckles or the Freedom Fighters whenever they get themselves into a jam or help them out of a jam, that kind of thing. So yeah, he's a pretty nice character. And then coming at number 41 and 42, I have Zavok and Master Zik. Now, I know a lot of people aren't really huge fans of the Deadly Six and stuff, but personally myself, I got nothing against the Deadly Six. Even like Sonic Lost World, like I actually enjoyed playing Sonic Lost World. I thought it was a fun game. It was kind of the first game that got me back into the series after like I was on a like hiatus for a while, like when it first came out. But anyways, but yeah, but Zavok and Master Zik, I thought they were pretty decent villains and stuff, especially compared to like the other like members of the Deadly Six. Zavok, I actually like his design and stuff. And honestly, I think they can make some like I think that they are actually some pretty decent villains and stuff. At least Zavok and Master Zik. But I just wish that the Deadly Six they could use like more time to be like fleshed out a little bit. But I feel like if you flesh them out a little bit more and probably give them more of a story, then I feel like they can definitely be utilized better that way. But I feel like the comics can definitely tell a good story with these characters and stuff, like they have in the past. Like they did this with the Worlds Unite crossover. That was the second Mega Man crossover between Sonic and Mega Man. They've done this with they've done like a pretty good story with them in the IDW comics and stuff, like Zeddy Hunt or the Metal Virus Saga. Like those were some pretty good ways of utilizing the Deadly Six. So I definitely like that. So yeah, honestly, I do like. I mean, I'm not against the Deadly Six coming back and stuff, because they are actually some pretty good reoccurring villains and stuff inside the IDW comics and stuff. And honestly, like yeah, I mean, I just feel like yeah, they just need more time to be like fleshed out and like just explained better. I know that's not really up for the comics though to do, but I feel like that's definitely something that the game should probably try to do, you know. But that's just me. Anyways, and then coming at number 40, I have your boy Knack the Weasel. Yeah, I definitely got to put Knack the Weasel up here. Definitely has a good design and stuff. The man looks like a Sonic character and stuff, or Sniper Fang, whichever one you want to call him. But yeah, he looks like a Sonic character and whatnot. He's a pretty decent villain and stuff. He's a mercenary and stuff. Definitely a classic one. Yeah, pretty much. And he's like one of the best marksmen inside the Sonic series. So yeah, I definitely got to put Knack here at number 40. Alright, so coming at number 39, I have Medic the Hedgehog. So, on my last video, when I did the best Sonic Girls, I kind of forgot about Sonya the Hedgehog at the last minute. You know, Sonic's twin sister from the Sonic Underground series. But, yeah, but pretty much, I mean, it didn't matter because Sonic Underground, it's not really a popular series like that. And, well, not popular, it's just not really much of a good Sonic series. This is probably one of the worst Sonic shows, to be honest with you. And that's not to say that any of the other Sonic shows are bad, but it's just that Underground, but still, Manic though, I actually think Manic's actually a pretty decent character as well. Just like Sonya and stuff, you know, he's Sonic's twin brother, the youngest out of the trio and stuff. He's the drummer. He doesn't really have any superpowers or anything like Sonya or Sonic does. He's mostly like, you know, a thief and stuff. He's very crafty. That's just how Manic is and stuff. And he used to kind of be a little bit of a punk and stuff and a thief back in his day, but no longer. So yeah, so that's Manic. All right, coming at number 38, I have Bokoon or Messenger Robo. So yeah, why did I put Bokoon here at number 38? Well, I actually kind of like Bokoon, and I think he has a lot of like a lot of promise as a character and stuff. I actually like Bokoon's relationship with Dr. Eggman and stuff. I really think it was like definitely like a dad and son kind of thing between them. If you actually like look at like some of this, like if you like look back on some of the episodes of like Sonic X and stuff, or not even the episodes, but like if you like look back at some of the small scenes of like Dr. Eggman with Bokoon and stuff, he really does treat Bokoon like a son. Hell, even when like Boko and Deco like kind of like left Dr. Eggman and stuff, and Dr. Eggman was like just left to himself to like fend for himself and stuff, or whatever. You know, pretty much he was the one that was cooking for Bokoon and stuff. So I kind of like that kind of thing. Or even like when they like just go out and stuff. Like Dr. Eggman likes to get in some exercise. He goes jogging. He takes Bokoon with him. Him and Bokoon go jogging. So yeah, definitely like a dad and son between them. So I like that. I think Bokoon's a pretty nice character and stuff. He's definitely one of those kind of like he's like one of those type of annoying kids that like to get on your nerves and be like mischievous or something, or pull a prank on you and whatnot, and just spoil your day basically. Yeah, so that's how I see Bokoon. But I like the character and stuff. He definitely had his moments in the Sonic X comics and stuff. So yeah, so if you want to check it out, you probably should check that out then. Then coming at number 37, I have Bark the Polar Bear. I like Bark and stuff. Bark is a pretty decent character. Again, not too much depth I can really go into, but he's definitely like the silent type and stuff. Really strong, cool design. He's usually a part of Knack and Bean's group Team Hooligans and stuff. Usually in the comics. In the games, I don't really think Bark is really a villain per se in the games or anything. He's just mostly just, you know, he was just there at Sonic, he was just there at that tournament in Sonic the Fighters and stuff. But still, I guess there are some ways you can always like utilize those characters and stuff, you know. Then coming at number 36, we have Commander Abraham Towers. Commander Towers is the GUN commander if you don't know who. The GUN commander, you know, Shadow's boss and stuff, try to get revenge on Shadow. Used to like be like kind of a kid brother to Maria and everything, a part of the Space Colony arc 50 years prior to the Sonic series. Yeah, that Commander Towers. Yeah, Commander Towers, I'd just say, you know, he's the gun commander and stuff. He commands like one of the most powerful like Sonic factions in the entire series and whatnot, you know, GUN and whatnot. Usually it's always like some kind of counter defense against whether it be Dr. Eggman, or if Sonic ever went Renegade, then they will have guys like Shadow, Omega, or Rouge or something, or just have them just doing missions anyways. But yeah, that's GUN, and that's the commander and stuff. Commander Towers. I always think I actually think that in Sonic 3, that the old man that's always been appearing lately inside Sonic 1 and 2, the first two movies and stuff, I feel like that's the GUN commander. Well, it is the GUN commander, but I feel like, yeah, he could probably be the villain in the third movie. That would probably make a lot more sense. But yeah, but I hope they utilize him well and stuff in those in that movie. I'm not sure who can be per se the villain. It could be Shadow, could be the gun commander, could be Agent Stone, could it be some other character that we don't know about? Who knows? But I feel like the gun commander should definitely initiate something. Like basically, yeah. He tries to go after the Master Emerald and stuff, thinking that maybe humanity or whatever, kind of similar to like Sonic Adventures 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Then coming in at number 35, I have my boy Big the Cat. Of course, I had to put Big the Cat on here. Why do I like Big the Cat? I think Big the Cat is a pretty decent character and stuff. He's not. I wouldn't say Big is like he's not vital story wise or anything. Besides being like an additional powerhouse, but I love Big's design and stuff, and he's kind of just a chill character. Like I mean, people like to shit on Big, people hate on him. They'd be like, "Oh my god, Big the Cat! Oh my god, Sonic fans want to have sex with Big the Cat." Like, no. But still, Big though, he's a pretty decent character and stuff. He'd be minding his own business, doing what he likes to do best, fishing, going after his frog, going after his pet frog Froggy and stuff. Whatever. Yeah, he's a likable character. I don't see what most people have against him, but yeah. Yeah. Coming at number 34, I got your boys Mighty and Ray. I gotta give this slot to both Mighty and Ray and stuff. People have been demanding for Mighty and Ray to come back for years. I honestly didn't know who Mighty and Ray was actually when I was like a kid. Like when I was the first time I got introduced to Mighty and Ray was by Sonic Paradox and stuff when they did an animation where Mighty and Ray were like at a bar and stuff talking about like forgotten characters and stuff. I was like, who are they? Like who are they? I don't know who they are. Man, that was hilarious. But yeah, Mighty and Ray though, they're definitely good characters and stuff. They've been in the Archie comics and stuff. That's where they've been used, but in the games they've been like a no-show until Sonic Mania. So yeah, and fans were definitely hyped to see them again. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's why they're at number 34. At number 33, I got your boy Bean the Dynamite. Bean is like the most quirkiest character, part of Team Hooligans and stuff. He's usually like I said, quirky, crazy, whatever. He likes to blow up things. He pulls out the bombs and stuff, out of nowhere, etc. That's Bean for you. What can I say about Bean? Bean, I mean, what can I say? I mean, when I first saw this character, I thought he was like a duck or something, but nah, dude's a woodpecker. It's a common mistake, I guess. Because when you think of Bean the Dynamite, you'd be like, oh, Bean the duck or something like that, but nah, the Bean. Yeah, he's a woodpecker and stuff, and he's actually, if you didn't know, a little fun fact, he's actually one of Ian Flynn's favorite characters. Actually, he's used him crazy, like in a lot of plot lines where Bean is like vital, but he's definitely used Bean in some cases, like he's especially in his other M fan comic and stuff where he made. And stuff where Bean was like the leader of the freedom fighters and stuff. Yeah, that was a thing. And but in the main comics though, yeah, Bean is definitely like the kind of mascot of Team Hooligans and stuff. Definitely, he stands out the most compared to the others. So yeah. All right, so coming at number 32, I have Eclipse the Darkling. Now, if you don't know who Eclipse is, Eclipse, and now talking about characters that should definitely come back. To the Sonic series and stuff, whether it should be through the games or back into the IDW comics. I think Eclipse definitely should come back to the Sonic series and stuff. So if you don't know, Eclipse is basically technically Shadow's brother and stuff. He's actually one of the last remnants of the Black Arms race and stuff. He was created by Black Death and stuff, who is kind of technically like a descendant of Black Doom. But yeah, he has a pretty cool rivalry and stuff with Shadow and stuff, or arch rivalry with Shadow, etc. I really think, yeah, if we want to bring back villains and shit, back to the Sonic series and stuff that can make up some numbers. Yeah, I think Eclipse would definitely be a good way to utilize that, in my opinion, anyways. He kind of has a cool design. To me, he looks a lot more like Knuckles, really, just more demonic and stuff. You know, he's got like this demonic serpentine like tail, black eyes and shit. And he's like black and red all over, or blue, like, or kind of like a dark bluish kind of, you know, color, but still. Yeah, Eclipse and stuff, and he kind of like utilizes the like these creatures and stuff, kind of like they're wisps in a way. So yeah, so Eclipse, yeah, and usually him and Eclipse, like him and Shadow go back and forth, and he usually always beats up Shadow, most of the time. But that's not to say that Shadow can't give it though, especially when he's using his inhibitor. So there is that too. Then coming at number 31, I have Kit the Finnick, or Kitsunami the Finnick. So yeah, Kit. Yeah, so Kit, as you know, is one of the newer villains and stuff inside the IDW comics. Pretty much, he has this ability to control water and stuff, hydrokinesis. He can make like tails and stuff out of them, or tentacles or whatever. You know, that kind of thing. Kind of like obviously like a Kasune and stuff, has like 9 tails. He can pretty much do something similar to that. It's kind of based off like Doctor Octopus and all that other stuff, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, but pretty much, yeah. So Kit, definitely a cool character and stuff. He's a lot like Tails. Actually, not only is he a lot like Tails, he's actually a clone of Tails and stuff. He definitely he definitely has a lot of Tails' like flaws and stuff. Like, he's very self-deprecating and stuff compared to like Tails and stuff. Where Tails has his moments where he can definitely be down, or he can definitely be like, you know, just down on his luck, or he could be like depressed or whatever. But nah, Kit really does have it pretty bad and stuff, and you kind of really do feel for the character. Some people even say that Kit's not really a villain, even though technically he's not, but he's just brainwashed, of course, because Dr. Starline had brainwashed Kit to like be subservient to Surge and stuff, you know. Where ironically, Surge is brainwashed to hate Sonic to no end, whereas Kit's kind of brainwashed to like you know, to protect and do anything for Surge, basically. So it's kind of wild and stuff, you know. When Kit was kind of having his his relationship with Sonic and Tails was growing and stuff, especially with Sonic, Kit was acting kind of like, you know, like how he switched up on Sonic when he thought that Sonic was lying to him. If you read the comics and stuff, Kit kind of reminded me a lot of like Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I know a lot of people aren't really fans of that, but personally myself, I actually like the movie. Who knows? I might talk about it another day. But he definitely reminded me a lot of Electro, where he started off as like this big fanboy, and then one small flaw, and he just like loses it. He becomes like insane, you know. But yeah. But I like Kit though. Definitely a cool looking character. I can't wait to see more of his Surge and stuff going onwards. Then coming at number 30, I have your boy Paulie, or Jules. Now, if you don't know, or you probably already know if you've looked at my channel, but Paulie and Jules is Sonic's dad and stuff. I like to consider Paulie to be Sonic's definite dad, in my opinion, since Sonic's parents are never addressed in the games. But Jules is also Sonic's dad as well, from the Archie comics and stuff, where he's Uncle Chuck's brother and stuff. And basically, he was he was the first person to be roboticized due to his injuries and stuff that he had sustained during a war. So yeah, or I could be wrong about that, but yeah, during a war and stuff, he sustained injuries. So the roboticization, if I'm saying that right, has saved his life, but undoing the process would would cause his death. So yeah, that's why he chose to stay roboticized, or why he was cut from the rest. So yeah, but but Paulie, Sonic's dad, usually he always teaches Sonic about like I think he's a good male role model for Sonic as a character and stuff. You know, he's always like setting a good example and stuff, you know, like teaching Sonic how to fly. He's always generally a pilot, everything, you know. So Paulie comes at number 30 in my opinion. All right, coming at number 29, I have Shard the Metal Sonic. What can I say about Shard? Shard pretty much is, of course, Metal Sonic, just good and stuff. He's the good version of Metal Sonic. So pretty much think of it like this. So remember the Sonic OVA, where in the OVA, Metal Sonic was pretty much like he sacrificed himself in order to save Sonic and stuff from dying in the volcano and stuff. Well, basically, the Archie comics kind of had their own adaptation or their own interpretation of that, where where kind of like literally that same thing kind of happened. And later on though, but technically here, uh, in the Archie comics, that version of Metal Sonic ended up surviving, and I think he was like the first version of Metal Sonic. So later on, Uncle Chuck had, I believe, he rebuilt him to be more like good and stuff, or he had salvaged him and whatnot, and then he was becoming Shard the Metal Sonic. So that's the differentiation between him and the Metal Sonic and the Archie comics, because in the Archie comics, Metal Sonic is the third version of Shard, pretty much. So yeah, but Shard, he's a decent character and stuff. He's got a little Mega Buster, a cool design, uh, interesting personality and stuff, where he's like a nice guy and whatnot. So yeah, and he has a pretty nice relationship with Nicole and stuff. I don't think that they're actually a couple, but I think it is hinted at that yeah, Shard did have some feelings for Nicole and stuff. And I definitely do like seeing I definitely do like looking at some of the fan art of Shard and Nicole and like Pinterest or something, or DeviantArt. They have some good stuff there. But yeah, but Shard. Anyways, coming at number 28, I have your boy Mecha Sonic. Yeah, and yeah, I am actually including robots on this list. I know technically, of course, robots don't really have genders, but since these characters are based off of Sonic himself and stuff, obviously they're guys. Um, Pretty much, like Mecha Sonic definitely has a cool design and stuff. A lot of people definitely remember him from Super Mario Brothers Z. I think that's definitely what made the character popular. He was definitely like one of the last bosses inside Sonic 3 and Knuckles and stuff, where either Sonic or Knuckles can like just fight him and stuff, and then he becomes Super Mecha Sonic and stuff, that kind of thing. And then recently in the IDW comics, they just did a story arc involving Mecha Sonic, Scrapnik Island, where it was a story about Mecha Sonic and stuff, and him antagonizing Sonic again. And well, I suggest you should read that book because it's actually pretty good, or those books because it's actually pretty good. I actually have all 4 issues and stuff. I bought them from my local comic book store. They're pretty good. Uh, all I can say is they really did Mecha Sonic some justice in there. That's all I can say there, but I really do like it, and it was written by the great Daniel Barnes and Jack, and it was drawn by Jack Lawrence and stuff. If you like, well, I wouldn't say it's a horror, but if you like horror kind of elements with Sonic and stuff, I think you might like this. It's definitely got that kind of vibe to it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so Mecha Sonic. Then coming at number 27, I have Tom Wazowski. So yeah, I had to put your boy Tom Wazowski up here on 27. So he actually places above Mecha Sonic and Shard and all the other characters and stuff. Crazy, right? But I don't know. That's what acting and stuff gets you. So yeah, I gotta give it to James Martison, if I'm saying his name right, James Madison. James Martison really did do a good job playing Tom and stuff, which Tom was kind of like a nothing burger and stuff. It's not like this is a character we had something to go off of or anything. But, a lot of people were skeptical at first, kind of like how, like, you'll have your Cole Youngs of the world from Mortal Kombat. But Tom, though, nah, people like Tom. Hell, people even be saying Tom is better than Chris. Tom's like the best human character and stuff, etc., And I gotta say, I mean, yeah, Tom definitely is a cool character and stuff. Like, compared to, like, all the other characters inside the Sonic movie, I would say, like, outside of, like, Sonic, Tails, Dr. Eggman, or Knuckles, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, having some scenes with Tom in there, but if it's anyone else, like, it's like, can we just get on back to the main plot, people? Basically. But yeah, but Tom, he's a nice character and stuff, and he's a good male role model for Sonic and stuff, helping him out, teaching him, like, morals and stuff and ethics, the right moment, the right time, right place, that kind of thing. I really like that about, Tom and stuff. He makes a good, dad and stuff for Sonic and whatnot. But yeah, Tom for number 27. Then coming at number 26, speaking about family, we got Emerald. So Emerald, as you know, and I don't have General to let you know I don't have General on this list because I can't really tell you too much about his character because I haven't played Sonic Advance 3 yet. But Emerald though, I have him at number 26. But yeah, Emerald has been in Sonic X, and he's been inside the Sonic games and stuff, inside Sonic Battle and stuff. In Sonic X, he's mainly like with Cream and stuff, as their like kind of protector and whatnot. until he competed in the tournament, and unfortunately, Cream had to put him down because he was destroying the city and stuff, and he was attacking Sonic, Rouge, Knuckles, and everyone else. So yeah, it was really unfortunate because like he absorbed a little Chaos Emerald and made him go haywire. And then similar to like in the games and stuff, where in the games, Dr. Eggman had destroyed a bunch of stars in order to like convert Emerald to come on his side or whatever, and that overloaded Emerald circuits, where Sonic had to put him down. So yeah. But besides Sonic Battle, though, you pretty much play as Emerald, or you kind of like play, or you kind of see things from his perspective throughout the entirety of the game. So like the first chapter, it's about Sonic, and then it goes to Tails and then Knuckles and so on and so forth, and stuff. But you kind of like get passed along, like Emerald gets passed along by everyone else and stuff. So you can kind of get accustomed to everybody's move sets and stuff, or which abilities you think works best and stuff. But yeah, but Emerald, he definitely has a cool ability where he can like copy stuff. He's a mimic and whatnot. He's a Jizoid, and he has some pretty good lore and stuff. Going like dating back to like the Marauders and stuff, and the Nocturnus clan. All that is some pretty interesting stuff about his character. So yeah, and then also he was also like taken in by Professor Gerald even. So he definitely has some connections with Shadow and Maria. So yeah, yeah, that's all I gotta say about Emerald. All right, so coming at number 25, I have Rotor the Walrus and stuff. Rotor, he's one of the OG members of the Freedom Fighters and stuff. I think he's a pretty decent character and whatnot. I mean, there isn't much I can really differentiate him from Tails. Like, pretty much he's just Sonic's best friend, but also an inventor as well. Yeah, pretty much same premise as Tails, pretty much. That's also inspired to become a hero, kind of same stuff. But he was inside Sonic Side EM in the Archie comics and stuff. I think Rotor is an okay character and stuff. I really like his designs and stuff, like in the even inside Sad EM, besides season 2, with a backwards hat and stuff, or even like the and like post Genesis wave. That's probably my favorite design of Rotor, where he's a lot more like bigger, and he's a lot more like hulking and stuff. Yeah, dude definitely looks like he can definitely give it and stuff in that form. So yeah, that's all I can say about Rotor. Coming at number 24, I have E123 Omega. So Omega, why is Omega at 24? I think Omega is actually pretty cool and stuff. He's definitely likes to destroy stuff. He doesn't really give a shit. He's best friends with Shadow and stuff, and best friends with Rouge. He's a member of Team Dark. He likes to just blow up and shoot things or whatever. He doesn't care. He likes getting into fights. He's very destructive. He doesn't care. But Omega, though, he definitely does like to spit out a lot of he's a funny character and stuff. He likes to like just say the most savage things while he's just blowing up stuff or whatever. But yeah, but I like Omega though, and there is some depth to his personality and stuff where he does actually like care about some of the others and stuff, like Loki. So yeah, and he is one of Eggman's most intelligent robots and stuff, as well as being like one of the most powerful. So yeah. Then coming at number 23, we have Jet the Hulk. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Jet like that. I know a lot of people are, but me, I'm not like a huge fan of Jet. And it's probably because I've only played like one Sonic Riders game. But still, Jet though is he's Sonic's rival and stuff, He definitely has a cool design and stuff. I definitely see the appeal. Dude's on a hoverboard and stuff. He's a bit of an anti-hero. He's a thief, obviously, that kind of thing, Pretty much like Manic, pretty much, But anyways, but yeah, Jet, that's all I can say there. I really like the annual where him and Whisper had teamed up last year. That was actually a pretty good one. I actually remember when Whisper was like, she was like, like Jet was talking all this shit, and Whisper was trying to like figure out how to like ride the extreme gear and stuff. And she was like, be quiet. And then she took it at that bad dick. I was like, yo, I don't know. I enjoyed this more than I was supposed to. With this story, so yeah, but Whisper and Jet, so yeah, but I like Jet though, he's a pretty cool character. And then coming at number 22, we got SBO. Now SBO, I feel like he's a very underutilized character, in my opinion. He has like, SBO is definitely a cool, he has a cool concept and stuff, and he is a cool character, but I wish that there was more character moments and stuff with this character. I mean, there hasn't really been much stuff since like really the Archie comics and stuff. And then there also like there is some stuff with IDW here, but in the Archie comics, SBO was kind of like this ninja that was, well, he is a ninja, but he was sent as like a spy and stuff, gathering information on everybody by his ninja clan. So there was stuff like secrets and stuff that he had to keep from his friends and stuff, things that he knew that they could have, needed and stuff. Like SBO knew about Mighty's sister and stuff, where she was located, but he kind of kept that fact for a couple of years and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, and the IDW comics and stuff, SBO, pretty much, like he definitely does take on Zaz and stuff. There's that. He blames Sonic and stuff for the zombie virus and stuff, and what happened to his friends and all that stuff. If you didn't stop Eggman, then yeah, etc. But still, SBO is still a pretty cool character though. Definitely, like yeah, very like he takes himself pretty seriously and stuff. And like I said, I wish they utilized him better. But who knows? Maybe I should probably play like Sonic Rivals and stuff, so I can kind of get a little more in depth with him and Silver and stuff. Because I hear they actually have a pretty good relationship as well. But anyways, moving on, we have Chuck Thorndike. Now, Chuck Thorndike, as we know, Chuck is Chris's grandpa and stuff. Chuck, he's an inventor and stuff. He had a pretty good relationship with Tails and stuff. I don't know anyone that didn't like Chuck's relationship with Tails and stuff, but they had a pretty good one. Of course, Chuck is like one of the most smartest characters in the entire series and everything. I'm not saying he's like up there with Dr. Eggman. Well, a little bit, but I mean, if he's able to keep up with Tails, then he can probably keep up with Dr. Eggman too. But still, I mean, Chuck can handle his own and stuff. And he can create gadgets and stuff. He likes working on planes, flying them, etc. He's a cool character. I don't know anyone that doesn't like Chuck. I mean, a lot of people would definitely voice their complaints about Chris, but I don't think anyone would really that won't have any much like complaints about Chuck, as a character. Like the guy likes to just do what he likes to do. Pretty much, Then coming at number 20, I have Mr. Stewart. Now, Mr. Stewart, as you know, is from Sonic X. He is Chris's homeroom teacher and stuff. He's also a spy, sent by GUN and stuff, or not by GUN, sent by the president. My bad. He doesn't work for GUN, but sent by the president, or the Secret Serviceman or whatever. Basically, Mr. Stewart's supposed to be spying on Chris so that he can keep tabs on Sonic and stuff, that kind of thing. But Mr. Stewart really got into the role as a teacher and stuff to the point where obviously he started to take more care into the children, more so than like his own, like than just being a spy and reporting back to like his officials and stuff, or his right. But Mr. Stewart though, I think he definitely I think he had some pretty good moments with Chris and stuff. Like I remember this one scene where Mr. Stewart was kind of like just tweaking Chris's brain a little bit. Was like asking him some questions and stuff, being like, how do you feel about like with Sonic and stuff? Like if he goes back, how would you feel about that? Like etc. Like oh well, like once you like like the candy bit where he gave Chris like a piece of candy and stuff, and he was saying like you enjoy it now, but eventually it'll be gone, you know what I mean? And he was comparing that with Sonic, and I like that. So Mr. Stewart definitely does have some pretty good moments. I don't know anyone that really has a problem against Mr. Stewart, but yeah, a pretty nice character. Alright, so coming at number 19, I have Mr. Tanaka. Now, as we already know, Mr. Tanaka is Chris's butler and security guard from Sonic X and stuff. Mr. Tanaka definitely, he's Asian butler and stuff. I believe he's Japanese. He pulls all the samurai, Japanese martial arts stereotypes and stuff. I actually think he's a descendant of samurais. I think he mentioned one time. But but he comes from Japan and stuff. There was definitely an episode where Chris and the others had visited his homeland and stuff. So that was a pretty nice episode. Little Child Lost. That was one of my favorite episodes from season 1. And stuff, a nice little kickback episode, and stuff, But anyways, Mr. Tanaka though, he's honestly to me one of the funniest characters in the series and stuff. Mr. Tanaka, he usually comes up out of nowhere with a good joke and stuff, where it's like, oh my god. Like I remember one time he was like when all the other characters were like fighting and stuff, like Sonic, Knuckles, they were like beating up all these robots and stuff, sent by GUN, like in Sonic Adventures 2. Mr. Tanaka come out of nowhere, dude's on a motorcycle with the nunchucks and shit. I was like, oh my god, and is he in a yellow jumpsuit like Kill Bill or something? Like, yeah, that to me was funny. But Mr. Tanaka, though, I think he's one of the funniest characters from Sonic X and stuff, or probably in the series. Definitely has some good jokes, and I like his loyalty and his commitment to like Chris and his family and stuff. And he actually had a pretty nice relationship with Topaz too. So yeah, that's also that too. So yeah, Mr. Tanaka definitely comes at number 19. Then coming at number 18, I have Sam Speed. Yeah, we're gonna stay on Sonic X for a little bit. So Sam is, as you know, Chris's uncle and stuff on his mom's side. Pretty much, Sam, he's also a rival of Sonic and stuff when it comes to like racing and speed. He's not as like cool as like I guess Jet, for example, but still, I like Sam's his motivation to want to beat Sonic in a race and stuff. You know, to want to be the fastest. You know, even though, like I said, I've said this before that even though it's like kind of physically impossible for Sam to beat Sonic, or even with, of course, you know, his race cars and stuff, it's physically impossible for him to like kind of beat Sonic and stuff. It's not going to stop him from trying. You know, he's always going to give his like he's always going to put his best foot forward and stuff. You know, yeah. And after like watching Mad Max and stuff, I'm definitely starting to see some of the parallels and stuff. Like when he first met Sonic and stuff, Sonic's like getting chased, like he's on the like, you know, he's running from the police and stuff, and then they send in their best guy, and then Sam Speed comes in and stuff, but instead of stopping Sonic, he actually, you know, like fails and stuff. So yeah, that being the difference from Mad Max. But anyways, but yeah, Sam, though, I like his enthusiasm and stuff. He's always coming up with a new name and stuff for himself almost every day, and he's also one of the funniest characters from that show. So yeah. Then coming at number 17, I have your boy Chip, or Light Gaia. Yep, I definitely had to put Chip on this list. Chip is definitely like one of the best, like low key, he is like one of the most underrated and probably one of the best Sonic characters in my opinion. He appeared only inside Sonic Unleashed and stuff, but I feel like Chip and Gaia definitely have a lot of lore for the Sonic series and stuff, because not only like they're the oldest, like not only are they cosmic beings, but they're like two of the oldest like living characters in the entire series and stuff, right? They've existed since the beginning of time, since the beginning of the time in the Sonic series and stuff. So that says a lot. And like just like how Dark Gaia represents everything that's like negative and embodies everything that's bad and stuff, and feeds off of like negativity and fear and hatred and all that stuff. Like Gaia, he feeds off the positivity and stuff of others and whatnot. You know, as a counterpart to Dark Gaia. And they've been fighting for like tens of thousands of years and stuff, you know? So, yeah. It would definitely be nice if they brought Chip back in some kind of way or something, you know? Who knows? Will they ever? I don't know. I have my doubts, maybe. I mean, they brought him back inside the Archie comics and stuff, where they did their own adaptation of Sonic Unleashed, which was pretty nice. But, yeah, but Chip. Light Guy and stuff. He definitely comes at number 17. I think he had a good relationship with Sonic and stuff, with Tails and stuff. In the Archie comics, he definitely had a good relationship with the Freedom Fighters. So yeah, and yeah, he's a pretty cute character and stuff, you know. So yeah, there's hardly any like. Honestly, Chip is not as bad as a character as like some people try to make him sound to be on like Watch Mojo or something. They try to be like, oh well, Chip is like the younger, like he's like a twin brother of Dark Guy, and they look nothing alike, and yada yada yada. I'm like, what? Did you miss the point of his character? But anyways, yeah, but Chip. Then coming at number 16, I have your boy Antoine D. Colette. Yep, I had to put Antoine on this list. Antoine is also one of the OG freedom fighters and stuff. I think he's definitely went through some of the best character development in the entire series. And I'm not just talking about him just moving on from Sally to Bunny and stuff. I'm just talking about like as a character in general, because like Antoine in the past, Antoine wasn't exactly like, you know, Antoine was a little cowardly and stuff, and there wasn't much he can really contribute to like the freedom fighters and stuff, apart from just, you know, just being an extra set of hands, I guess. But eventually, you know, Antoine, he you know, learned martial arts and stuff, and he became like a swordsman and whatnot, you know. And he definitely like had just gotten better at being a soldier and stuff. You know, he became a soldier officially, and whatnot, everything, So I had to say that Antoine definitely went through a lot of good development throughout the pre-Genesis wave of the Archie comics. And I actually like his design in the post-Genesis wave, where it's a lot more simple and stuff, and represents like his country, France, a lot more. So I really like that. Um, he definitely has a pretty good relationship with Sonic and stuff, and Tails, and of course with Bunny and stuff, and the rest of the Freedom Fighters. But yeah, so I gotta give it to Antoine for number 16. Coming at number 15, we got Professor Gerald. I had to put Professor Gerald here, or at least on this list, because Professor Gerald definitely has a lot of like impact on the entire Sonic series and stuff. He created Shadow. He built the space colony arc, the Eclipse cannon. He's Dr. Eggman's grandpa. He's Maria's grandpa. He almost tried to destroy the world. Yes, Professor Gerald is very, very, very important to the story. I made a list about last year or 2 years ago, talking about how essential, essential Sonic characters, and Professor Gerald made the list because he is certainly essential. I really liked how Professor Gerald kind of parallels Dr. Eggman and stuff, and I really like Dr. Eggman having a lot of respect for his grandpa and stuff. And I actually feel that Dr. Eggman's motivated to be a villain actually because of his grandpa, in my opinion. But that's just me. But yeah, Dr. Eggman definitely took to science and stuff because of his grandpa and stuff. He was a scientist as well. So Dr. Eggman, despite being kind of a narcissist and being arrogant, Dr. Eggman will acknowledge that Professor Gerald, his grandpa, was the best inventor in his own century, whereas he's the best inventor in the current century, basically. So that's always nice. But yeah, so Professor Gerald. Then we have at number 14, Scourge the Hedgehog. Scourge is a fan favorite character. A lot of people like Scourge. Obviously, Scourge is anti-Sonic and stuff. Pretty much, he's the evil version of Sonic from the comics and stuff. Pretty much just what you will probably think. He is an evil version of Sonic that comes from another dimension and stuff. Like I said, wildly fan favorite and stuff. Pretty much when Ian Flynn redesigned him and stuff, where of course he has more of this standout appearance where he's green, has green fur, he has 2 scars on his chest, and and everything. Yeah, automatically he's a lot more better than what he was when he was anti-Sonic, because as anti-Sonic he was just more so of a troublemaker and a foil for Sonic, but here he's like an actual arch rival to Sonic and stuff, where he was taking on Sonic and Shadow, and dude took over his own world and stuff and everything. I actually like Scourge's actual relationship with Fiona. I know Fiona made my list of worst Sonic characters, but I actually like their relationship though, and their dynamic. Moving on, we have Chaos at number 13. Chaos, in my opinion, Chaos was the villain inside Sonic Adventures 1, but I want to say after that, Chaos is more so of an anti-hero, or he's more so neutral and stuff. He's not really a bad guy anymore. He was mainly a bad guy because of course the Echidnas had attacked his people, or had attacked the Chows and stuff that he was protecting, and tried to steal his power of the Master Emerald. So pretty much Chaos had wiped out the Knuckles clan and stuff, and almost destroyed the world at that. So yeah, it was crazy. But Chaos definitely has a lot of pretty good lore and stuff, with the Master Emerald being the original Guardian before Knuckles actually. And everything. He has a pretty cool design and all that stuff. And now it's recently he's a descendant of the ancients from Sonic Frontiers. So that's pretty nice too. So anyways, yeah, but Chaos though, I think he's a pretty cool character and stuff. And keep in mind, this character does not even have the ability to talk, and he's still a very interesting and a very unique character and stuff. You can kind of tell what he's going through when you learn about his story and stuff, and his motivations and everything. So yeah, and especially it's told through in song too. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Then coming in at number 12, I have Sir Charles, or whoops, sorry, I kind of added an extra A, so I can't really go back and fix that. But anyways, Sir Charles, or Uncle Chuck. Yeah, I definitely had to put Uncle Chuck here on this list. I didn't know if I don't know if anyone thought that I was gonna leave out Uncle Chuck for some reason, but nah. Despite me and I've said this before that I've said this before that Sonic SatAM is not exactly my preference, but Uncle Chuck definitely has to come here at number 12. I liked his relationship with Sonic and stuff. He definitely has some pretty good chemistry with him and whatnot. even if, like I said, Sonic side of him may not be my preference and stuff. Uh, I feel like Uncle Chuck can even work outside of that. He can work in the games. It doesn't have to be some weird tragic angle where he created the roboticizer that Dr. Eggman later on just steals and then abuses and stuff, Like Uncle Chuck, yeah. But he is also one of the smartest characters in the series and stuff. He's also an inventor. He created the roboticizer and stuff, and he's helped patch up a few things whenever Tails is not around. So yeah, Uncle Chuck. And I know I kind of misspelled Charles there by adding an extra A, so I can't go back and fix that. So, whoops. Anyways, coming at number 11, I have E102 Gamma. E102 Gamma is probably one of the most in-depth Sonic characters and stuff. He comes from Sonic Adventure, where you can play as, of course, one of the E-Series robots, that being E102 Gamma and stuff. He's probably probably not the second, but yeah, he's the second oldest among the E-Series robots that were in that game. Like he's like his older brother is Beta, or not Beta, my bad. His older brother is Beta, right? Yeah, his older brother is Beta, and he's older than the other two. But anyways, a very competent robot and stuff. I think he has a pretty good relationship with Amy Rose and stuff, where she ended up convincing him to turn against Dr. Eggman and stuff, and just have his own free will and stuff. And he had a pretty nice ending and whatnot. So yeah, and probably one of the saddest deaths in the series. So yeah, gotta give it to Gamma. All right, so I'm finally in the top 10 for the best Sonic boys and stuff. And just like my best Sonic girls list, I'm going to be going into like a lot more detail with the top 10. So pretty much consider everything else up to this point a little irrelevant until we get to here. But anyways, of course I'm basing this off my own opinions and based off my own, opinions, bias, my own criteria and stuff. So you don't have to agree with me 100%. But hey, this is just me. Anyways, coming to number 10, I have Chris Thorne. All right, so I know my 10th placement here for Chris is a little bit of a hot take, but just hear me out. Now, if you've seen my videos before, you know that I've defended Chris before, and honestly, if I'm going to be frank with you, I actually think that some of the opinions that people have of Chris are kind of dated. Like a lot of people be hating on Chris because he got money. Some people would just be hating on Chris because they find him to be useless. Some people be hating on Chris because they think that he's selfish for trying to take Sonic away from his home and all that. Again. I would definitely refer to like just watching back on like some of those episodes and stuff. But anyways, and then some people would just be hating on Chris because they just thought the entire series was like dedicated to him. And that's why you got people like trying to make fun of Sonic X talking about some. Oh yeah, that's why it's called Chris X or something, basically. Stuff like that. But anyways, Chris though. What do I personally think of the character? I think Chris actually has some of the best character development in the entire series, and I actually stand by that. Like really think about it, because yeah, Chris started off as like this 12-year-old and stuff where he was like insecure, not as confident. Of course he has some friends like Danny, Helen, and Francis and stuff. He's known them since Chris was like a little kid. He's known them for years. But the thing is though, like, he just didn't really have nobody around in his household besides, of course his grandpa, his housemate, Ella, and Mr. Tanaka. But I mean like somebody like his parents, like his mom and dad, because his mom was off, acting and stuff, and his dad had to run their little company. So, Chris just wasn't feeling like he wasn't getting too much attention at home, from his parents, because like when you have like your parents and stuff, especially if you're like, let's say in single parent households or something or whatever, you kind of just feel like you want to be there, like you want your parents to be there, seeing you in action and stuff, seeing what you can do, etc. It's a very complicated and very complex kind of character arc, if you ask me. I'm not saying it's not the most complex thing in the world, but it's definitely a lot more complex than what people give it credit for. But anyways, why do I think Chris has some of the best character development in the entire series? Well, it's simple. I mean, he went from, a lot of people like to say that Chris is like a whiny 12-year-old kid. He went from that to being like 18 years old, having a girlfriend, being a martial artist, being a inventor, and like one of the most smartest characters in the entire series, having like a license on all vehicles, becoming a pilot, all that stuff. He really like became like one of the most self-made characters in the entire series. Okay, that's why I like Chris. I think he was actually pretty awesome for that. And even like season two, when he was still like like when he was still a kid, like he was like 12 or 13 around season two. Chris was like still like he was trying to get better and stuff. He was always testing his limits and stuff, pushing himself, trying to always like even like outdo himself or outdo Sonic and Knuckles if he could. That was his like that was his goal, stuff like that. And eventually, like Chris, of course, had took an inspiration from all those characters that he's met, and his grandpa, like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and stuff, Shadow, Amy, all those characters and stuff that he admired, and it became like a very successful and self-made person, and I like that about Chris. So yeah, Chris definitely makes the 10th placement on my best Sonic boys list right here. All right, so coming at number 9, I have Dr. Starline. Now, Dr. Starline to me is like one of the best new Sonic villains and stuff introduced to the series in the IDW comics and stuff. And that's been one of my main complaints is that I wish that they would have like added. I wish they would add more like Sonic villains and stuff to like to the story and stuff to give Sonic more of a challenge. And they kind of actually did that in Frontiers by throwing in the end and all that stuff. And well, Sage is pretty much with Dr. Eggman, so yeah. But still, in the Titans and all that, that was actually pretty cool. But anyways, but I mean like main like reoccurring villains, kind of like the Deadly Six. But anyways, Dr. Starline though, I thought he was a pretty cool villain and stuff. He has a nice design and stuff. On top of that, he's definitely instigated a few major events inside the IDW comics and stuff so far, like the Metal Virus saga and stuff. He pretty much helped reawaken Dr. Eggman's memories and stuff, so that Dr. Eggman later on ended up creating the Metal Virus, and pretty much the two of them ended up exposing that to the entire world and stuff. And Dr. Starline was trying to find ways of at least containing or controlling it, at least by using the Deadly Six, pretty much. And then, of course, there's the bad guys, that story. It was a pretty nice story with that focused on the villains and stuff inside the IDW, whether it be Rough and Tumble, Zavok, Mimic, and Dr. Starline and stuff. Those characters all teaming up on Dr. Eggman and stuff, breaking into his base. And Dr. Starline was just using them as a means to an end to just get what he wanted so he can use it for his latest scheme, pretty much, of course, we have imposter syndrome and stuff, where basically Dr. Starline had created clones of Sonic and Tails, that being Surge and Kit, and now Surge and Kit are kind of running amok and stuff. So so Dr. Starline's definitely made quite the impact on the IDW comics so far. So yeah, he's definitely he's instigated a lot of things. Like I gotta say, like Dr. Starline, he's definitely good for stories. He definitely has some pretty unique gadgets and stuff as well, like good for fighting and stuff, or good for just getting himself out of situations. Whether it be the warp topaz and stuff, he doesn't have that anymore, but he used to have the warp topaz, which he used to use to to like pretty much teleport or open up portals and stuff. It's kind of like a lot similar to Chaos Emeralds in a way, but it's obviously a different kind of power. But anyways, in the end, Sonic and Silver were able to use the Warp Topaz to kind of undo everything that's been, like to undo the Metal Virus and send it to another dimension. So that was pretty cool. But anyways, the Warp Topaz though. Dr. Starlight actually used it against Sonic and Silver during their first meeting. Then there's the Hypno Gear. It usually works on characters that don't exactly have a strong and resilient mind and stuff. It's simple brainwashing and hypnosis. Dr. Starlight usually uses it on characters to get himself out of a situation, or to at least be a little discreet and stuff, stuff like that. But he doesn't really use it too much in fights, as like, oh, that's his go-to weapon or something, unless he's really desperate. But yeah, then of course he has power cores and stuff. He actually took down Shadow once, or he at least got the best of Shadow. I don't want to say he took down Shadow, but he got the best of him and whatnot using the power cores. So power cores basically gives Dr. Starline like the strength of Knuckles, the speed of Sonic, and the skills of like Tails and stuff, basically. But you can only use one at a time. It's basically like the same stuff from like Sonic Heroes and stuff that helps Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, or any of those any of those types, like speed types, power types, or flight types to like level up pretty much. And then, of course, Dr. Starline has his little multi-tool heal spurs, which he uses as a way of like pretty much paralyzing his opponent. and stuff like, of course with electricity and stuff. He uses this whenever he's using like little swift kicks and stuff or whatever, or just when you're not seeing it coming. He's used this on Surge and stuff, and he used it on one of the guys from the Restoration and stuff. So yeah. So Dr. Starline. So he definitely has some pretty nice gadgets and stuff and everything. So I think he's a really good villain. Too bad he got killed off though, but it's not impossible for him to come back though. I mean, they might bring him back in some way. Who knows? But only time will tell. But I would love definitely to see this character again.
Guess he was a fake after all.
What do you mean, after all?
We're here to save you. Dr. Eggman, I presume.
What's going on?
What's up?
You knew it was me all along, didn't you?
It's all part of being a good detective.
Were we fooled that easily?
You're rotten!
Hey, hold on, you guys. It's no trick, and besides, I plan on paying you. You'll be rewarded handsomely for helping me. As soon as I conquer the world, I will pay you.
Some nerve from us what you ain't got.
We've been had. Just wait a minute. Just listen to me.
Take this, you bad man!
Alright, so coming at number 8, I have Vector the Crocodile. And what else can I say about Vector? I mean, he's like one of the most likable characters in the series. He has a cool design. Dude's a master detective. He's like probably one of the most musical characters in the series and stuff. He loves music. He's a music enthusiast. Speaking of which, Vector actually has some pretty good character themes as well. Teen Chaotix. That's like one of the best Sonic themes in general. He's carried a lot of stories and stuff along with the Chaotix like multiple times. So basically what I mean by that is he imagine like writing a story without Sonic and stuff, and then there have been like several like misadventures and stuff with like the Chaotix and stuff, or like Vector and stuff. Like for example, in the IDW comics there was a story about the Chaotix and stuff, and basically they're looking into the whole Surgeon Kit fiasco and stuff and what was up with that, and they basically discovered that Clutch, the opossum, was basically like dude was like starting up back up his criminal empire and stuff, and that was pretty nice. And Teen Chaotix got into a fight with him and Rough and Tumble. So yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty cool story. Or that story where they ended up getting into it with some pirates and stuff, and they were saving Princess Udina and stuff. So that was pretty nice. So yeah, Teen Chaotix can definitely carry some stories themselves, with or without Sonic sometimes. But yeah. And not to mention, Vector's the leader of the Chaotix, so yeah. So Vector, he's a very likable and he's a really cool character. Like, what else can I say? Like, a lot of people were definitely hyped to see Vector in Sonic Boom, I remember. Because back in Sonic Boom, back during those days, like Sonic Boom, the only, like, characters that was in there was, like, only 7 characters, and only 5 of them appeared on a daily basis. That being Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and then Dr. Eggman. And then, of course, like Metal Sonic and Shadow will show up every now and then. But Vector, though, oh wow, that was a surprise to like see Vector though in the in Sonic Boom, because no other main series character was confirmed outside of that. So it was nice to have Vector, So yeah, Vector for number 8 for best Sonic boy. All right, so coming at number 7, I have Silver, of course. Like, why wouldn't I? Silver definitely makes the top 10 list for best Sonic boys in my opinion. He's obviously based off of Future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, arguably probably the best Dragon Ball character in my opinion. A lot of people like to say Silver is like a ripoff of Trunks and stuff, and whatnot, or whatever, to be spiteful or some shit, I guess. I mean, it's obvious Silver's influence from the character, but that doesn't necessarily make him a ripoff. And even if you want to say, oh, well, Silver is a ripoff of Trunks, well, you gotta keep in mind that like literally the whole future thing is pretty much based off of like Terminator, basically. The whole cyborgs or robots and stuff taking over the future and all that jazz, and there's always a future warrior like Kyle Reese or something going back in time to like save the day. Yeah, that archetype inspired these two characters. So it's not like, oh, well, this all started, like, no. But anyways though, yeah, Silver, he's a really good character and stuff in my opinion. He has a good character arc, a good story, good redemption, good design, and cool powers and stuff. Dude has telekinesis and is a psychic, okay? and has like psychokinesis and all of that. So pretty much he can also control technology and all that other jazz. His character arc, obviously, you know, him trying to like save his world and stuff, even though it's become an apocalypse, he's trying to change it and stuff by going back in time. Originally, he thought, of course, killing Sonic would probably save his future and stuff because he was tricked by Mephiles. Then realized that pretty much he was getting played. A lot of people would not forgive Silver for these actions and stuff, even though Silver, he almost made a terrible mistake, but it's not like he actually went through with it. It's not like he actually did kill Sonic or whatever, and he had definitely, in my opinion, he's definitely made up for it. He's saved Sonic on a few occasions and stuff, and he's like saved the world in return as well. Saved Elise, like, come on. Yeah, so I gotta say, like, Silver definitely has done a lot to make up for his past mistakes and stuff. So that's why I think he has a good redemption. He definitely has some good relationships with Blaze, Amy, SBO, Shadow, Sonic, and stuff, and probably even Elise. I think he has a pretty decent rivalry with Sonic and Shadow. I wouldn't really say, I personally don't consider like Silver to be like a straight up rival for Sonic like that per se. Maybe a friendly rival in a way, but it's not like they compete over anything crazy like that. But yeah, he's a decent rival, and he's a possible descendant of one of the main characters and stuff. A lot of fans love to theorize about that. Some people say he might be a descendant of like Shadows and stuff. Silver could be Shadow's son. You know, you got Vegeta and Trunks, etc. Personally myself, I don't know what to really say, but I think it's more than likely as possible like that Silver might be a descendant of Sonic and Amy. I don't know, it's just a possibility considering that Silver's had a lot of interactions with Amy and some with Sonic, so it's possible in my opinion. But who knows? Maybe he could, like, knowing it's Sega, they probably won't reveal it anytime soon. And honestly, it might be just some other hedgehogs or something. That could be like, oh, Silver's ancestors or something. But hey, that's just me, right? But anyways, yeah, but stuff like that, a lot of people definitely love Silver and stuff. Then, of course, Silver does have his hate, so he has a mixed reception. But personally, myself, I got nothing against Silver. I think he's a pretty cool character and stuff.
Citizens of Earth, lend me your ears and listen to me very carefully. My name is Dr. Eggman, the world's greatest scientist, and soon to be the world's greatest ruler. Now witness the beginning of the greatest empire of all time.
So coming to number 6, I have Dr. Eggman. Of course I had to put Dr. Eggman on this list. Now, I know Dr. Eggman is a little bit dorky, but he's a pretty cool and eccentric villain and stuff. I actually think that Dr. Eggman is one of the most unique villains in all of video games. Now, Dr. Eggman is not like my favorite video game villain per se, but if I had to say top 5, definitely. Dr. Eggman is one of my top 5 favorite video game villains. But anyways, yeah, Dr. Eggman. He's the main antagonist in the entire series and stuff. Personally, myself, I wish that they would retire Dr. Eggman as like a villain and maybe just keep him around as an anti-hero. That's just my opinion because I actually think Dr. Eggman has some like redeemable qualities, and I just feel like it's probably just about time to, like, I don't know, make a new antagonist perhaps for like Sonic, and maybe like challenge Sonic in different ways than have him fight like robots and stuff all the time. Or you can still fight robots, but does it always gotta be Dr. Eggman's robots and stuff, you know what I mean? But that's just me. Of course, Dr. Eggman is like the best human character in the entire Sonic series. I don't know any other human character that beats out Dr. Eggman in terms of like, popularity and just, you know, in general in characterization. But yeah, I gotta give it to Dr. Eggman. He's the best human he's the best human character in the Sonic series. Everybody knows him. He has been in the he's been in just about every other like Sonic universe, continuity, timeline, whatever. Even more so than Tails and Knuckles and stuff. Like, let me just give you a little example. So, for example, Tails isn't inside Sonic Underground, right? He sat out inside Sonic Underground, but he's in just about everything else, right? In every other cartoon. Knuckles is almost in every other Sonic cartoon besides Adventures Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Sat-EM. Those cartoons he's not in, but he's in Underground and Sonic X, Sonic Boom, etc. However, Dr. Eggman's in just about everything that's Sonic related, whether it be cartoons, comics, video games. He's in everything. Except, well, he's not in every video game, but you know what I mean. He's in like just about like, yeah, he's in those universes and stuff. So when there's Sonic, there's Dr. Eggman. So yeah, Dr. Eggman's pretty much been featured the most, just as much as Sonic has. He has a cool design. I actually like Eggman's classic look. It's very simple. But personally myself, of course, my favorite is the Yuji Yukawa style of Sonic Adventures 1 with the flight suit and stuff that he always wears, the modern outfit, of course. Come on, you can't lie. That is a badass outfit, and you know it. Dr. Eggman's classic designs, definitely like from the Sat-EM or from Fleetway, definitely did look intimidating with the black and red eyes and all that. But I mean, I would like, it wasn't my favorite per se, but it was all right and stuff. He wore the little yellow cape, but personally myself, I prefer the egg-shaped classic look compared to those. It's a lot more simple and just a lot more, yeah, in my opinion. But anyways, it's more Dr. Eggman style, you know. He has a good arch rivalry, of course, with Sonic and Tails. You know, Sonic being his arch nemesis, Tails being kind of his arch rival and stuff, and also being a rival scientist and engineer and stuff. You know, stuff like that. Yeah, so Dr. Eggman's a pretty cool villain and stuff, you know. And then on top of that, Dr. Eggman definitely has a lot of good actors and stuff as well. You know, he has Mike Pollock. He has Dean Bremstew. Rest in peace to Dean Bremstew. He has Chikao Atsuka and stuff. Rest in peace to him. That's his Japanese voice actor. He passed away in 2015. He has, who else does he have? He has, let's see, Jim Carrey, of course, Jim Cummings. Jim Carrey had really made he really put Dr. Eggman on the market for the movies and stuff. A lot of people love seeing Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman in the movies and stuff. They were like, damn, Jim Carrey was like the best actor inside the movie, etc. So yeah. So Dr. Eggman is a pretty cool villain in my opinion. So he definitely makes number 6 for my best Sonic voice and stuff. So yeah.
Then who was it? Who locked you up here for trying to conquer the world?
It was...
All living things kneel before your master.
Alright, so coming at number 5, I have Metal Sonic. Yeah, of course I have Metal Sonic here. Metal Sonic is like one of my favorite Sonic villains and stuff. He's the best arch rival for Sonic, and he's like the best robot duplicate. Sonic may have like a ton of other robot duplicates like Mecha Sonic, Pseudo Sonic, or Silver Sonic, but to me, Metal Sonic is of course the best version. Not just because he's featured the most, but because like Metal Sonic just has a lot more personality and stuff. I wouldn't say he acts entirely like Sonic, but he definitely does have a lot of traits and stuff, like the finger wag, the just just the competitiveness, everything. I want to say Metal Sonic just has all of that, and he just has a lot more personality and character. But anyways, that's just me though. He was the final boss inside Sonic Heroes. It takes multiple characters just to take him down sometimes. Whenever he's like wigging out and stuff. Hell, he was actually giving Sonic the hands inside the OVA and stuff even. But it just takes multiple characters to take him down, like in Team Chaotix, Sonic Heroes, or the Restoration and stuff. Like, yeah, it took all these like guys just to take down Metal Sonic, little old Metal Sonic, pretty much. Or not little old, but whenever he transforms and stuff. He has multiple super forms and stuff like Metal Sonic Kai, Neo Metal Sonic, Metal Madness, Metal Overlord, Super Neo Metal Sonic, all those forms. Yeah, Metal Sonic pretty much has in spades, pretty much. But yeah, and then easily he's one of Eggman's most powerful creations and stuff, and one of the most intelligent. He can think for himself, everything. So yeah, I do like Metal Sonic though, like obviously. So yeah, that's kind of why Metal Sonic makes for the top 5 for best Sonic boys.
Shadow, what do you think it's like on Earth?
The professor said his life's work was dedicated to all of those who live down there. He once told that the reason for his existence was making people happy through the power of science.
Shadow.
Maria, I just don't know anything anymore. I often wonder why I was created, what my purpose is for being here. Maybe if I go down there, I will find the answers. Maybe. Maria.
Why so melancholy? That was so unexpected, so unlike you, Shadow, to come and rescue me. But your ability to use the Chaos Control certainly comes in handy.
You know, I didn't come to save you. I came back for the Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah, but then again, that's not the whole story, is it?
Everything is ready to go.
Are you sure? We only have 6 of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, you know.
It's more than enough for the demonstration. So let's get the show on the road.
Alright, so coming in at number 4, I have Shadow the Hedgehog. Of course, I had to put Shadow on this list. You thought I was going to make a best Sonic Boys list and not put Shadow on it? Of course, I got to put Shadow here. Shadow is the second most popular Sonic character in the entire series. He's the best anti-Sonic like character. You have all your anti-Sonics like Surge, Scourge, just other Elseworld versions of Sonic that are just evil or whatever. Shadow is obviously the best anti-like Sonic character and stuff. Although he's not obviously like an evil version of Sonic per se, but he's just a lookalike, twin, pretty much. But he has his own background and his own story that's removed from Sonic. So yeah, but still, he's a good anti-Sonic like character. And he's definitely one of the best anti-heroes in video games, in my opinion. He's had his own video game spin-off. I know a lot of people didn't like Shadow the Hedgehog, but personally myself, I found it to be a fun game regardless and stuff. I mean, yeah, story was everywhere. It was kind of like, a transition from the voice actors from the video games at the time to the 4Kids roster and stuff. So I know it was a big change, and of course it took itself way too seriously. It was super edgy. Regardless, I enjoyed the game. I thought it had some pretty good CGI and some pretty good and it was just fun to play. I love shooting and cutting down bad guys and stuff. It was a fun ass game. Like it's Shadow the Hedgehog, bro. Anyways, good chemistry with Rouge, Omega, Maria, Hope, Professor Gerald, Dr. Eggman, Sonic, Amy, Silver, and Blaze. Yep. So yeah, Shadow has good relationships with all those characters. So yeah, those are my reasonings as to why I think Shadow's just a good character and stuff. My only complaint towards Shadow as a character is that I wish that they would feature Shadow a little bit more, and they just do a little bit more with his character and stuff. Because honestly, I don't think they've ever really utilized Shadow as a character that well, ever since like really Sonic 06. I could be wrong. Maybe there are because there are some Sonic games I haven't played. I haven't really played Sonic Rivals or anything like that yet. But yeah, still there have been like, you know, Sonic games and stuff where Shadow just appears in like Generations and he does nothing besides just be a boss or something, you know? Or like even in Sonic Forces, he had his own episode Shadow, but that was like literally like 4 stages and it didn't really like serve the story in any way. It was like, oh, well, Shadow met Infinite, and basically the reason why Infinite wants power is because, oh, well, Shadow beat him in a fight one time. But personally myself, and this isn't like, oh, well, I'm not happy or satisfied until this is done. Nah, I'm just saying, like, my only thing with Shadow is I wish they would do more with his character, and this extends to the IDW comics and stuff. I wish they would, like, at least show Shadow's more good side, more so than show his bad side all the time. Because, you know, like, the thing is, like, Shadow may have started off as a villain, but Shadow's not really a villain, or he's not evil anymore, you know? He's an anti-hero. The thing is, like, Shadow, he's a really nice and genuine guy and whatnot, and really sincere. I mean, yeah, he might be, like, brooding and all that stuff, or whatever, and, hell, the dude will, like, you know, if Shadow believes that, alright, you gotta die for a necessary cause, then he'll probably, and then so be it. But still, Shadow, though, he's not a bad dude. He's like Sonic, pretty much, just a lot more without morals, you know, like Sonic has morals about using weapons like guns and you know, and just all that other stuff, you know, or working with the military and all that other jazz, you know, or whatever. And Shadow's like, nah, I don't care, or even about killing and stuff, you know. Yeah, that's kind of the difference between Sonic and Shadow, is that Shadow, he's like Sonic just without morals, pretty much. Yeah, and he's just a lot more brooding and stuff. So yeah, that's all I can say about Shadow, though. But yeah, I wish they would do more. I wish they would show more of his good side. And I might actually do something about that later. But stay tuned to that. But anyways, yeah, Shadow for number 4.
Just let it go. You just don't know when to give up, do you?
What are you talking about? That emerald's mine. You got that? The Master Emerald contains special powers that neutralize the energy of the Chaos Emeralds. That makes it very powerful.
What the?
What? Thief!
Look who's calling who a thief.
I came here following the signal from the Emerald. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Master Emerald, is it not?
It's you, Dr. Eggman.
So that's Dr. Eggman.
Well, I guess I can use it for something. I'll just take it with me. Farewell, knucklehead.
Not if I can help it.
What?
Ah! What was that all about? And look what you did to my emerald!
I did that to prevent the Master Emerald from being stolen, you idiot. If it's in pieces, I can restore it. And by the way, that's not your emerald.
Doesn't matter. I'll look into it once I get back to the base.
I despise anyone who takes jewels from me. All the world's gems are mine to keep.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Batgirl.
Alright, so coming at number 3, I have Knuckles the Echidna. Of course Knuckles had to make the list. Of course. Knuckles is probably my 4th favorite Sonic character, but since we're talking about best boys, Knuckles comes at number 3 here. So, yeah, I mean, Knuckles is universally loved by a lot of people. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Knuckles like that so much. I mean, of course, every writer, like even the writers love Knuckles a lot. You know, maybe even some more than others. I won't say any names because of, copyright and all that crap. But, or I don't know, maybe I might get some lawsuit or something. Let me stop. Anyways, yeah, but Knuckles, he's a cool character, cool design, cool look, everything. His aerodynamic dreadlocks and stuff, his little shoes, his Nike checkered check mark. He's literally the color red. Everybody, I don't know anyone who doesn't like the color red. But, yeah, Knuckles, cool character and stuff. He's pretty much Sonic's opposite, and he's like Sonic's friendly rival and stuff, and his best friend, everything. You know, I love the relationship between Sonic and Knuckles and stuff. They definitely get along. I feel like they definitely do have that kind of back and forth kind of friendship and stuff where they will like pull pranks or something on each other or mess with one another in some kind of way. Yeah. But anyways, physically, Knuckles is the strongest Sonic character in the series. He matches, like, his strength pretty much matches Sonic's speed. He's, again, he's like one of the most cool, like, he's the coolest character in the series, one of the most coolest. He definitely has a lot of excellent lore, and he's the most essential to the series. I made a video talking about like 25 of the most essential Sonic characters in the series, and Knuckles, well, he was like number 3, but in my opinion, I think Knuckles is probably the most essential Sonic character in the series, outside of Sonic and Dr. Eggman and stuff. But yeah, Knuckles though, yeah, I'm like, when it comes to like the Chaos Emeralds and stuff, or the Master Emerald, I feel like, yeah, you definitely need a story though. You definitely need Knuckles to kind of tell that story sometimes, you know, especially when it comes to like the Master Emerald and stuff in Angel Island. But yeah, of course, I love Knuckles' lore. Namely, of course, the stuff in the games with Takao and Pachimak and all that, and the whole Aztec Mayan kind of influenced lore and stuff with Knuckles' people and the stuff with Chaos. I love that stuff more so than in the Archie comics and stuff where, etc. I won't get into that, but yeah, that's preferably like what I prefer for Knuckles as a character and stuff, you know. Of course, he's the last of his own kind, the last echidna, so that's unfortunate. But still, you know, Knuckles, he's very, like, I love his personality and his character and stuff. He has excellent lore, and like I said, he's essential to the series. He has good chemistry with Sonic, Tails, Rouge, Shade, and of course Chris and many other characters alike. Pretty much, like, yeah, I don't know anyone who doesn't like Knuckles. Like, yeah, like I said, it's Knuckles, man. Of course, you saw the second Sonic movie and stuff where everybody was hyped to see Knuckles and stuff when they saw him in the poster and then the trailers and then the movie and stuff. He was voiced by Idris Elba, which is kind of weird, but still, Idris Elba, though, I mean, he did a good job as Knuckles, though. I still like the character and stuff. He was pretty awesome and stuff, you know. A lot of people weren't exactly fans of how Knuckles has been written inside, like, you know, let's say Sonic Boom, where they kind of just made him just a meathead and stuff. But if you ask me, I think Knuckles has some pretty good jokes inside Sonic Boom. He's obviously not the best version of Knuckles, but still, he's an alright character, you know. Not exactly the best or the most accurate, but yeah. But of course, Knuckles, though, I love when the character is like, you know, just, protective of the Master Emerald and stuff, and he also likes to help out his friends however way he can and stuff, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, Knuckles, he's a really stand-up kind of guy. So that's why I love the character. All right, so coming at number 2, I have my boy Tails. Of course, I had to put Tails here. Now, back in the day, Tails used to be kind of like, actually, Tails used to be my favorite Sonic character and stuff. I used to switch back and forth between Tails and Sonic back in the day. Back when I was like a kid and stuff, I used to be like, nah, Sonic's my favorite character. Nah, Tails is my favorite character. Nah, Sonic's my favorite. I used to be like that back in the day. And of course, it helps the fact that Tails is also like, you know, fox, and foxes are obviously my favorite animal because, you know, I call myself the keenest fox. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, what can I say? I love Tails. He's a cool character and stuff. He's like the most likable character in the series. He's definitely like the most relatable and stuff. He has some of the best character development in the series. Of course, he goes from like this, like, you know, this like kid and stuff that was picked on because he was always like, you know, timid, and he had 2 tails and stuff, and, you know, people used to just pick on him until, you know, like Sonic, his hero and stuff, that, you know, he ended up like later idolizing, ended up just, you know, helping him out and stuff, you know, and then just giving him that confidence. So yeah, I really do like that though. So yeah, definitely has some of the best development and stuff, and of course he goes from that to like being like one of the best heroes in the series and stuff, one of the most heroic characters and stuff, and definitely like one of the most like best friends and stuff. He's always got to be somebody's little brother, but he's definitely awesome though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, I know Tails' character has kind of regressed over the years and stuff, in some ways, but I definitely think Sonic Frontiers had definitely saved Tails there. And stuff by like kind of rekindling his friendship and his bravery and stuff aspects with Sonic and everything. So that was pretty awesome, and his independence as well, where he wasn't just gonna like, oh well, you know, break down and everything like how he did inside Forces. So they're definitely salvaging Tails and stuff from there, and I like it and stuff. So yeah, I think Tails has some pretty good chemistry and stuff, and pretty good relationships with like Sonic, Knuckles, Amy, Cosmo, Zoe, Belle, Kit, etc. You know, I think like, yeah, Tails is definitely good to get along with and stuff. He has good rivalries with Kit, Speedy, Wave, and Dr. Eggman. He's fun to play as inside Sonic 2, inside Sonic Adventures 2, or Sonic Adventures 1, my bad. And he has like, obviously he has he has a lot of creativity put into his design. So those are some things I like about Tails as a character and stuff.
Sigma Alpha 2 heading due south over the city. We're en route. Everything's a go.
This is Control Tower. We have you on radar. Report cargo status of captured Hedgehog aboard. Over.
That's a 10-4. Cargo secured on board and... What?
Didn't
The
copy that.
Hedgehog is
Over.
gone. He's taken out everyone aboard and...
What's wrong?
What in the
Come
world?
in. Over.
Freeze! What do you think you're doing? Get that Hedgehog!
Talk about low-budget flights, no food or movies. I'm out of here. I like running better.
Alright, at number 1, I have Sonic the Hedgehog. Of course I have Sonic as number 1. Now I know it sounds a little generic or a little cliche to have the main character in the number 1 placement, but of course Sonic's my favorite character, so what else can I say? One of my favorite characters in general, and definitely one of my favorite characters in video games and stuff, pretty much. So yeah, and I've followed the character for years. You know, I've grown up, developed, I've seen the character grow up and develop and stuff. I've seen this series grow up and develop since the 2000s and stuff, you know. And it's always been like an awesome experience. So anyways, let me start going into some of my reasonings as to why I have Sonic for number 1. Alright, so my first point as to why Sonic's like one of the best, or actually is the best Sonic boy, of course. He's the face and the mascot of the of Sega, pretty much. He has their colors and everything. He put Alex Kidd, their original mascot, out of a job. You name it. Like, yeah, Sonic is the mascot of Sega, pretty much. He's the face. He's been confirmed to be the fastest video game character ever, okay? He's one of the best platformer heroes out there. He's up there with Pac-Man, Mario, Crash Bandicoot, Sly Cooper, you name it. He's up there with all those characters and stuff in terms of like platforming. His design is obviously based off of Santa Claus and Michael Jackson, if you didn't know. He has his red and white sneakers, which is of course based off of Santa Claus, and his buckles and stuff is based off of course Michael Jackson's look. And of course Sonic comes from Christmas Island. Then he's also rivals with the Super Mario Brothers brand and stuff. Pretty much ever since Sonic 1 was put out, it pretty much was a top competitor for the Mario games at the time and stuff. It was pretty much like Mario Brothers, just faster and stuff, and a lot of people loved it. So yeah, there's that. One of the definitely like automatically like, right there, Sonic was like already a competitor for like one of the biggest like video game franchises out there at the time during the 90s. Then of course Sonic has like the longest running comic book series and stuff based off a video game for like at least 24 years ongoing and stuff until, you know, we got to the IDW comics and stuff, you know. Has 2 of the best video game movies out there. Even if you don't think that Sonic, even if you don't think Sonic 1 and 2, those movies were like the best live act wise, still, I mean, it's better than most. It's at least top 10, if anything, you know. There's not really that many good video game movies out there that's that good, but there are some, you know. I think the first Mortal Kombat movie was good. And stuff. Annihilation was pretty bad, and that 2021 movie was kind of just meh. It was average, but anyways, though, the Sonic movies, they were actually pretty good in my opinion. Well, of course, I would say that, but anyways, yeah, definitely has a lot of good voice actors and stuff like Roger Craig Smith, his current voice actor, Jason Griffith, everybody's favorite voice actor, Ryan Dermod, back from the Dreamcast era. Junichi Kanemaru and stuff, his Japanese voice actor and stuff. He's probably voiced Sonic for like the longest time since like honestly since like what Sonic X all the way up to today, which is crazy. And I think he's like 60 years old too, so that's pretty cool. Ben Schwartz and stuff, he's voiced Sonic in the movies and stuff. Devin Mack Jr., he voiced Sonic back in Sonic Prime and stuff. It's a good show, definitely recommend you check it out. And then, of course, we have Jaleel White, good old Steve Urkel. He's voiced Sonic in the first 3 Sonic cartoons, that being Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sadie M, and, of course, Sonic Underground. So, yeah, Sonic definitely has a lot of established and a lot of good voices and stuff, like all these guys and stuff that helped to establish the character in the cartoons and the other animated projects and stuff like anime and video games and stuff. Yeah, they did their part. They're awesome for it. Sonic has obviously good rivalries and stuff, whether it be with Knuckles, Shadow, Metal Sonic, Jet, Dr. Eggman, or even Sam Speed. Like, yeah, Sonic has good rivalries. Like, what else can I say? And I always feel like having a good rivalry and stuff, like with another character and stuff, it definitely does show like a good side of that character and stuff, or some kind of good dynamic or whatever. You know, like people do like stuff like Naruto versus Sasuke, Goku versus Vegeta, etc. You know, and of course you have like Sonic versus Knuckles, Sonic versus Shadow, etc. Then of course Sonic has good friendships and relationships with characters like Tails, Amy, Knuckles, the Freedom Fighters, and the Restoration, etc. So it's like it's ongoing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I really do like Sonic as a character and stuff, and he's my number one for best Sonic boys, of course. Pretty much, and this is my placement for the best Sonic boys and stuff. If you want to check out my placement for where I rank all the like best Sonic girls and stuff, you can check out my list. I have that up too. So anyways, this has been the Keenest Fox, and I'm out. Peace, and have a good day, everybody.